I've been racking my brain all day at what to say about Veterans Day, and unfortunately I couldn't come up with anything positive. 'Cause all I can keep thinking about is all of the veterans who voted for a domestic terrorist last Tuesday. You know, the 5-time draft dodger, the guy who called our fallen soldiers losers and suckers. And if you don't believe me,
I supported him. He lost. He let us down. But, you know, he lost. So I never liked him as much after that, because I don't like losers. But Frank, let me get to it. He hit me. He's not a war hero. He's a war hero.
5.5 years.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
first thing, it's a good thing that the American people like losers, or Donald Trump would have been gone after 2020. So you think Donald Trump would sit there and call John McCain a loser, but he would never say that about our troops in general? No. Oh, but bear with me, there's so much more. In 2019, Trump and his administration made it so that any children born to U.S. service members overseas no longer received American citizenship automatically. In August of 2019, Trump took money from retirement funds for U.S. troops for the border wall. In July of 2019, Trump refused a U.S. Marine who had served 6 years in our military's request to come in and take his citizenship test. Talk about appreciating his service. How about that time that Trump had the Blue Angels fly over one of his campaign events on July 4th, breaking the rules? In May of 2019, Trump had U.S. service members who were serving on the USS John McCain turned away from his Memorial Day speech. Talk about petty. And in April of 2019, Trump had a spouse of a fallen soldier in Afghanistan deported, leaving their daughter here without a parent. So Trump abandoned a base in Syria. And you want to know who owns it now? That's right, Putin and Russia. But please, let's keep talking about the Afghanistan stuff that was left behind, that was inoperable, and what we do all the time. Speaking of Afghanistan, do you remember when Donald Trump was going to have the Taliban come over to Camp David so that he could make some deals with them? And when that kind of blew up, do you remember when he released 5,000 Taliban and sent them back over there? Oh, don't believe me?
No, but we're talking to the Taliban. We're talking to the government. We'll see if we can do something.
We're working on an agreement now with the Taliban.
But we've had very good success in talks with the Taliban. The Taliban wants to make a deal. We'll see if they want to make a deal. It's got to be a real deal, but we'll see. So we are negotiating with the Taliban. We've been negotiating with them for a while. And I'll be meeting personally with Taliban leaders in the not too distant future. The United States signed a deal with the Taliban so that we can hopefully begin the immediate process of finally bringing our troops back home.
That's right, Donald. You signed the deal in Afghanistan that we all had to abide by. It wasn't Joe Biden, it was you. And you left us with a deal and no plan to get it done. So thank you for that. Those 13 soldiers that died, it was actually your fault. And finally, any veteran who voted for the guy who stopped going to Dover Air Force Base to receive the bodies of our fallen soldiers, yeah, there's something wrong with you. We shouldn't negotiate with domestic terrorists. And we sure as hell shouldn't put them back in the White House. Jeez.